I'm a male teen and my parents' second kid, but the oldest living and the only bio kid in our house. My bio sister died before I was born from SIDS. My parents went on to have me, but Mom was left unable to carry more children due to the risk it would pose. They wanted more kids badly, my mom especially, so when I was 7, they started fostering kids and later adopted some of them. In total, I now have 5 siblings under the age of 10, and my siblings are my parents' priority in everything. They show up for their school plays, their talent shows, their extracurriculars, and while they miss everything important for me, and my dad even said the free curricula I attend doesn't really do major games anyway, so what's the big deal? And it's their fault I do the free ones because the money was spent on my siblings doing extracurriculars. I don't get to go on school field trips anymore because my parents can't always afford for us all to go, and I'm the one forced to sacrifice for them. I also had to sacrifice 3 birthdays as well, where I got no gift or no party because my parents needed to pay for stuff for my siblings. 3 months ago, I broke. Not sure what put me over the edge, but I sat my parents down and told them exactly how I felt. I told them I felt I was no longer a priority for them and hadn't been in years. I told them I hated them sometimes for it and that there are times I have wished we could go back to them not adopting kids. I told them I felt like I got shafted by them adding to the family and that having siblings didn't make up for everything else. That there are times I feel like my siblings made my life so much worse and that it's not my siblings' fault, it's theirs, my parents. I told them it hurt being the only one whose birthday was okay to skip, but the second I got a job and started buying stuff for myself, they complained when I wouldn't get stuff for my siblings or share with them, when they buy them treats often and get me nothing. My parents were open to what I said. They promised me it wouldn't happen again, and they promised that I could go on my school's international trip this year. It's some pretty significant money, $5,000, but I can pay some toward it. They told me they'd cover it and even set money aside. Now my parents have been asked to adopt the bio sister of my brother. My parents told me about it and that they want to do this, but it means no trip for me because the money will be needed. They said it's important to keep the siblings together, and surely I can let them make it up to me another time. I told them no because they won't have the time or the money to make it up to me. I told them I know I'm not their priority if they do this, and they won't have my support, and I will check out and start planning a life without them. They were upset, my grandparents were angry, and now my parents have said I was unfair to them and to my brother and his bio sister. Am I the idiot? Honey, as weird as this may sound after what you've gone through, your parents' behavior isn't tied to who you are as a person. You could have been a genius who graduated med school by 12, or an artistic prodigy that made the whole world weep upon seeing what you created, and it wouldn't have made a difference. Something inside your parents is broken, not you. Your parents needed to mourn their ability and expectation of having numerous bio children. They needed to heal in a healthy way before looking into other options. Instead of looking inwards to do that work, they looked outwards. Fostering and adoption was a way for them to put a band-aid on feelings. When you can, please look into therapy. I wish I could give you a motherly hug and tell you that you deserve just as much love as any other child. This is an excellent point. They were so busy trying to make up for your siblings being adopted that they actively took things away from you. In essence, they punish you for being their biological child. Somehow, in their eyes, you're not equally deserving of their time. They are damaged people, and their savior complex has manifested as neglecting you because you don't need to be saved. They don't get the ego boost from rescuing you. My grandparents are angry. So does that mean they're willing to pay for the adoption so your parents can give you money for the trip? No? You are not the idiot. Go on your trip and save your money for when you can escape to college. Then go no contact with your neglectful parents. My daughter, 25, is getting married to her fiancé soon. However, none of us, her family, is invited to the wedding. It'll be a large wedding, so I'm surprised we weren't invited. I wasn't surprised when she didn't invite her siblings because their relationship was practically non-existent. However, she didn't invite either me or my husband. Her rule is that she wants my husband, her father, to walk her down the aisle and then he leaves. When we asked why, it's because her fiancé didn't like us and she didn't want to make him uncomfortable. She made it clear she wanted us there, not her fiancé. I genuinely do not know why her fiancé doesn't like us. I'd be willing to figure out why if he would like to talk. My daughter has been with him for 4 years, and yet we've only seen him a handful of times. When we do see him, he doesn't talk to us. We initiate conversations, but he either doesn't respond or changes his answer every visit. When we ask him how he and my daughter met, the answer is different. Ask him about himself, and the answer always changes. It's not like he changed his thoughts on something after we saw him because he denies answering something different. When we asked our daughter about this, she just said it's how we act around people he doesn't know. When my daughter told me the rule of us not getting invited, and her father could only walk her down the aisle, I told her it was ridiculous and unfair to either me or her father. I also asked her about the future and how he's going to act when they have kids. My husband told me it wasn't necessary to say, and maybe it wasn't. So, am I the idiot? Edit, her fiancé side was going to pay for the entire thing from the start. My husband asked if we could talk it out, but she has yet to respond. Not the idiot. Honestly, your husband shouldn't walk her down the aisle if he isn't invited to stay. This is very controlling behavior. Tell your daughter you'll be there for her if he becomes abusive. Don't cut that helpline off, but you'll have to pull back emotionally. She's made her choice and you aren't going to talk her out of this, sadly. If you can, sit her down and explain the situation. Warn her. She's marrying a very controlling man, probably emotionally or mentally abusive. If not now, it will start after the wedding. I feel very sorry for her future. I couldn't agree with you more about him being abusive. He clearly has her exactly where he wants her, even now since she wants her parents there, yet he is getting his way on something odd. I wonder what reason he will give when people ask where the bride's family is as well. He'll probably lie. It would be interesting to see how he would explain away Dad walking her down the aisle and then leaving as well. It really feels like removing all potential support structures from her life so she'll be trapped. Something about this seems off. There has to be more to the story. What's being left out? Maybe the daughter has told her fiancé about her toxic childhood, upbringing and relationship with her family. I'm getting unreliable narrator vibes. Honestly, I think the parents are hearing what they want to hear and ignoring what they don't want to hear. I really get the vibe that the daughter has told them exactly what's up and they just don't understand, so that can't be right. I, 34 male, have always wanted a Mini since I was a kid. It's been my dream car. My wife, 33, had her first child right out of college, so getting a Mini was not exactly practical. Currently, we have 2 children, a tween and a young grammar schooler, and my wife is a stay-at-home mom by choice. I've said many times she can go back to work and we can pay for childcare. She doesn't have to be a stay-at-home mom. I've spoken with my wife many times about getting the car and she shoots it down, which is valid. We like comfortable lives, but my wife is big on putting all the extra money into our kids' future. With the context set, here is the conflict. Soon I turned 35 and I got a pretty decent bonus from my performance review. Normally the bonuses I get go into the kids' college fund. Our oldest already has close to $75,000 in his fund, and I have plenty of time to play catch-up with our youngest. I took the bonus, put some extra cash I've been setting aside separate from everything else, retirement, rainy day fund and our emergency savings in a high-yield savings account. I spoke with our financial advisor. He suggested I invest the cash value of the car and finance the car since I was to qualify for a low-interest loan. I did just that. Fast forward, I bought myself a 2024 JCW fully loaded Mini Countryman. My wife wasn't pleased. She was extremely upset. I know I should have run it by her. I knew she was going to say no. If my wife wants anything and I can get it, I often get it. Our children get to experience every opportunity they want within reason. I'm not going to pay for something just to have our kids drop it 2 weeks later. They have to show a real commitment to it. We're not hurting for money. I've done right by the family for many years and felt it was okay to get something for myself. My wife started to yell. I explained everything from above to her and she wasn't having it. She was concerned about size and I jokingly said that's why I got the Countryman. It's a bigger car. She didn't find it funny. I said we still have the minivan. We can also use that if we need more space. While she was yelling, I told our oldest to get his brother ready. We went out for ice cream. He honked the horn and I interrupted my wife and told her this fight was not going anywhere. I couldn't return the car, so let's go out for ice cream. She slipped screw you and gave me the finger, so the kids and I went out for ice cream. So, was I the idiot here? I do feel my wife overreacted a tad. She put me in the doghouse and isn't talking to me. Edit, she bought a car without consulting me and I wasn't upset. She bought a minivan. Now I get a minivan isn't a dream car. I came home from work and saw the minivan in our driveway. All I said was the new car. She replied, yeah, we needed a larger one and that was the one I wanted. I asked about the financials and left it at that. She felt she needed it and we could afford it. That was good enough for me. We had a car prior that was still fairly new and had plenty of space, but she felt we needed more. You are the idiot. I know I should have run it by her. Yes, you should have. While she was yelling, I told our oldest to get his brother ready. We're going out for ice cream. Then you didn't even give her the dignity of hearing her out and tried to play a, look at me, I'm an awesome dad. My kids love how cool I am, power move by telling them you're going out for ice cream in the middle of her being upset. Idiot behavior all around. Not the idiot. Life is way too short not to go about enjoying things in the moment. OP states he's brought this up many times and it always gets shot down. She cannot use the stay-at-home mom card. According to the OP, he said she doesn't have to stay at home, that it's her personal choice. She can't hold resentment against him for something she's chosen to keep doing. We deserve nice things. OP's going to be 35. It seems like he's worked his butt off. Why shouldn't he get something for himself? I agree. If she's so looking out for her children's future, she could easily work part-time while the children are in school. Of course, big purchases need to be discussed, but OP's wife's opinions are the only ones considered, and so many people are calling you out for disrespecting your wife to go get ice cream. Parents fighting in front of their kids is damaging to their mental health. This is a discussion you need to have with your wife, but her yelling at you in front of the kids is unproductive, and it's better to shelve the conversation for when the kids aren't around. I, 47 female, have a stepdaughter, teen, from my husband's 49 previous marriage. My stepdaughter is half white American and half Mexican American. Her dad is white and her mom is Mexican. I've known my stepdaughter since she was a toddler. Something to know about her is that she's very introverted and shy. She doesn't like massive crowds or loud music and especially hates big parties. My stepdaughter's mom began to plan a quinceañera for her a few months back. I've always had a great relationship with my stepdaughter's mom, so when she asked me to pitch in and help wherever I could, I agreed. I found it surprising stepdaughter agreed to have a quinceañera. When I asked her about it, she told me she never agreed to one. She told her mom she didn't want one, but her mom is going through with it anyway. She asked her dad and me to talk to her mom on her behalf to change her mind. We did, but mom didn't budge. That was a few months ago. As the date of the quinceañera neared, stepdaughter came to me and asked if I would help her avoid the party. I agreed because I could tell she didn't want this party. I asked her what she wanted to do instead. My stepdaughter is a very big nature person. She likes hiking a lot, so we agreed I'd take her on a hiking trip instead of the party. We didn't tell her mom. My stepdaughter just wasn't showing up. We told her multiple times stepdaughter never wanted a party, but she decided to have one anyway. My husband told us he would go to the quinceañera to help handle things when people figured out his stepdaughter wasn't coming. Today, I was supposed to take my stepdaughter to the quinceañera. Instead, I took her on the hiking trip she wanted, and after that I took her to a friend's house so she could cut a cake to celebrate her birthday with them. It was a great day. Of course, the stepdaughter's mom wasn't happy when she found out she planned a party with hundreds of guests, only to have the party's main focus not show up. She kept calling us throughout the day, but we ignored all the calls. My husband tried to keep her calm, but of course she was angry. I knew it was going to be a crap show when she confronted me, but I was willing to face that. Later today at home, she came to confront me and my stepdaughter. She was furious. She was yelling at me, my stepdaughter, and my husband. After she finished her rant, I told her to get the screw off my property and that this was a lesson to pay attention to what her daughter wanted. My stepdaughter politely asked her mom to leave. She got into a car and left with tears in her eyes. Everyone's the idiot here except your stepdaughter. Obviously, your stepdaughter's mother is the idiot for ignoring her stepdaughter's wishes when it was her birthday. The problem here is you should have communicated to your stepdaughter's mom that there was just no way the stepdaughter was going to a party she was unhappy with. Instead, you just took off with the main guest without warning. Stepdaughter's mom may not win Mother of the Year anytime soon, but she at least deserves to know where her daughter is. Not to mention she spent all that time, effort and money to prepare for a party that's very important to their culture. I disagree. Mother was told numerous times, so all the time and money spent was on her. The father was there and he knew of the plan, so he would have been able to explain it all to the mother where the stepdaughter was. You are not the idiot. Good parenting by you and your husband here. Mom wanted the party, not for stepdaughter's sake, but her own, and it was her self-absorbed moment got ruined, whereas the actual birthday girl had a great time. I think this counts as play stupid games, win stupid prizes. When you don't listen, you can't blame people for not warning you. I, 26 female, come from a close-knit family consisting of my parents, 2 older brothers and my sister, 23. My brothers are financially well off and have always supported our family. However, my sister has a history of making poor financial decisions, and this has caused tension within our family. Recently, my sister approached me with a financial request. She explained that she'd gotten into significant credit card debt due to overspending and needed help to pay it off. She asked if I could lend her a substantial amount of money to cover her debt, over $5,000. Now, I'm not in a position to lend her the money she requested. I work a regular 9 to 5 and have my expenses to manage. Additionally, I've been saving up for a down payment on a house, and lending her the money would significantly lower my chances of getting the home I've been working so hard for. When I explained my situation to her, she became upset and accused me of being selfish and unsupportive. She argued that, as her sister, I should be there for her during times of need. She also mentioned that I'd helped out our brothers in the past and questioned why I couldn't do the same for her. I understand that family is important, and I genuinely want to support my sister. However, I also believe in being financially responsible and maintaining my own financial stability. Since the incident, my sister has been distant with me. She's even involved our parents, who are pressuring me to reconsider my decision. They argue that family should always help each other regardless of the circumstances. Am I the idiot for refusing to help my sister financially? Not the idiot. The excuse "we are family" has got to be the lamest of all. If your brothers are all well off, why isn't she asking them? Why aren't your parents helping if they believe it's so important? She won't be paying you the money back at all. Remind her and your parents that she can pay her credit cards off monthly and that this should be a lesson to her not to overspend. If your parents still try to guilt you into paying off your sister's debt, ask them, if you do, will they buy your house for you? Because, after all, the family should help the family out. You're not obliged to let your sister drag you down with her poor money management. If your parents believe you are, they can be the ones to help her restructure her debts, since they say circumstance is not important. Tell her you will give her all the support she needs by finding and setting up an appointment with a very good financial advisor and helping her budget her money to pay her debts off, instead of asking for money and learning nothing from her mistakes.